Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And I was going to do a show on magic resistance today, but we'll save that for next week since I had such a great time with our 330 Center St Grymvald Campaign. The Vince himself is in the chat. He's also a player in the campaign. So, welcome, Vince, and thanks for taking some of the pictures, and to Shane as well. He's also a Patreon supporter here, so and part of the campaign, and a regular in the Lake Geneva gaming community, and as is Vince. And I decided to call an audible and do a campaign update since we had such a great time last night and got so many wonderful pictures. Thanks always to Yolanda. Well, we'll get into that because what do we got here? Oh, yeah, we can set it up like this, right? I know that's not perfect, but that is... Look at that picture. Oh, that was from the... library reading of Sonia Ackreight's Sanitariums of Lake Geneva book. One of the last year when Ernie was out around at one of the local events, and his sister Heidi there, and the wonderful Donna, myself lurking in the background. Anyway, that's my Facebook page. If you want to friend me, feel free. What do we got going on there? Yeah, we posted this today. I'll just read it. The 330 Center St Grymvald Campaign group got back to the table this week, and we employed the Whiz Kids Watchtower Vince brought to stand in for the northernmost Dragon's Tooth. His character, Amos Havoc, was pledged to clear of monsters so he could secure it as his birthright. We also set up a modest Dwarven Forge dungeon in case we needed that, though we won't really hit the lower depths until Ernie Gygax's Day, September 2nd, as part of the group's continuing exploration. Vince has a much more extensive collection of Dwarven Forge at the ready, with many elaborate setups in the offing. Thanks to Yolanda for having us in her treasured location for this first edition AD&D game, and to the Grymvald group for joining together to play. Some of the following pictures are my own, others taken by Vince and Shane. So thank you both for that. Let's have a look. Vince, we got you holding up the tower. I asked Vince to hold up the WizKids Watchtower to do a size comparison to 330 Center St Dungeon, birthplace of D&D. Thanks again, Yolanda. And indeed, the latter, looms large as the legend it is. But we cannot fold space and put 330 Center St on the dining room table inside of itself. We will use the watchtower for our game. So, I think that says it all right there, right? 330 Center St. So lovely that she lets us play our campaign games there from time to time. It's very much appreciated, and I think... Look at that. Look at how that front... Remember how scrubby that was? Her and her mother went around, and her mother is the real green thumb. Yolanda will tell you that. This is no secret. I'm not telling tales out of school. Her mother is, she knows all of these plants. She knows each and every one. She knows what to pull out, what are actually weeds, and what are wonderful indigenous prairie species here in southeastern Wisconsin. And, I mean, look at that. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And there, of course, is the table. Yolanda, with the help, I got to edit some of these captions, with the help of Paul Stormberg, of course, Set the dining room table at 330 Center Street, birthplace of D&D. Nicely for when tours come through. When given the chance to play in the space, we always take a picture so we can return these treasures to their displayed locations when we wrap up for the night. It's humbling to imagine that Gary Gygax, along with his family and friends, would play test Dungeons and Dragons in this very room. It's such a privilege to be able to enjoy playing here, and Yolanda makes it available with a wonderful B&B next door to folks who would like to enjoy it for themselves or with their family and friends. Birthplaceofdnd.com. That's the place to go if you ever want to take part in this experience. If you want to take the B&B next door, it sleeps comfortably up to 8. There's a kitchen and everything. It's a beautiful location. Pictures are on the website, so you'll have to go check that out. And you can also rent the game table here. Now, you can just use the B&B if you don't want to play in the space, but man, why wouldn't you want to if you're a gamer? So check that out. The cheese packages, there are off-season and seasonal packages. There are always some spots open. It's an ongoing venture that is growing, but I imagine that a few years from now, you're going to wind up on a waiting list. Because I think this is going to be booked day in and day out, week in and week out, all year round, when people know what they can get a hold of and what they can do and enjoy. But yeah, look at that. I mean, some of the old modules and original tables from OD&D and some nice Dice Towers, World of Greyhawk box set, a beautiful DM screen there, a wooden one. There's our Grymvald group. Look at that, Vince. There you are on the right. We got Shane and Stephanie and Alex and Sarah and Vince. Daniel, not pictured, isn't here today. And Colin hasn't been able to make it for a while, but still in the group chats and stuff. So hopefully both of them will be able to make it back with us soon. But these 5, these are the core. These are the folks that just get it done, especially tonight. I'm not going to read the captions here. If you want to check that out, hopefully you have Facebook, and feel free to go to, I keep my posts public, so you can check it out even if you don't want to friend me. But if you're a gamer and you're not some radical, internet nut job, then feel free to friend me. I will check out your profile if you're a goofball. If you show any signs of insanity that aren't related to gaming, there might be a chance I'll decline. But feel free to friend me if you're a gamer and you got a Facebook account. Then what else we got here? Let's see. Oh, there's me. Yep. Hiding my mini. Just trying to cut it down to just 2 chins for a change. Got my first edition D&D books. I keep those in those Chessex dragon skin vinyl book covers. I got a show on that somewhere in the archives. You should check that out too if you like those DM screens and a table all set up. Through the WizKids Watchtower, that dragon on top. I mentioned that it's just for show this time. It's been up there in previous sessions, and it can turn invisible, so it might have been up there, and they've made their peace with him, though, so for the time being, they're not at loggerheads. But there they are, camping out down below the watchtower. Look at those beautiful trees. Those are the Dwarven Forge trees, if I'm not mistaken, right, Vince? I know that campground setup is part of the Dwarven Forge line, like this dungeon is. As I say, this simple Dwarven Forge dungeon is merely the start of things to come. There's so much more is in the offing for the coming weeks. For this week, though, the tower is the primary concern. Is that not true? It sure is. And they made They had tough going with it, right? Yeah, there's the campfire. Yeah, it's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Lovely miniatures. Everybody's all painted up and ready to play. Really, just wonderful. Oh yeah, owlbear time, baby. And it wasn't just one. There was a second one, and then of course there were a couple of young that were nesting inside that they've caged and captured and caged for later. I don't recall Vince going down to the owlbears, or rather Shane. So I think that just happened to be toppled over. There's that old school owlbear. Thank you, Scott Griffin. Wherever you are, I hope you're keeping well. You're a wonderful guy. We miss you very much. Hey, what's up with this? So when Stephanie's MU and her magic user casted magic missile spells tonight, we used some Studio 6D6 D4s. Specifically made for magic missiles to tally the damage in honor of our fallen friend Cosmo Joe, who we all miss. Phoenix Con was a big success. People were up there honoring Andy Watkins, Cosmo Joe, and also Ernie, who passed early this year. We're just losing too many people. It's not good. It's very sad. And we keep plugging along and gaming in their honor. So, what's on the second floor of the tower after they climbed up through a trap door? They discovered there's a golem inside. There's Alex's fighter getting first dibs on it. Fortunately, they figured out before engaging it in combat that it was a guardian in the tower, and since Vince ostensibly is the heir apparent to this tower, he was able to, rather than kick off a big fight, just establish his dominance. And the Lord of Dowerhaven is now has a clay golem as a butler, or guardian anyway, in the tower. So that worked out. Oh, but then from the upper level, a devil showed up, and she was not happy. She was there to guard the tower as well, tasked by the Lich, the Witch of Dowerhaven, the ancestor of Vince's druid. And they unfortunately, after trying to get the golem to help them fight, discovered that the Lich had left conflicting and overriding orders that the golem was not to harm this creature. So they could not convince the golem to help fight. But he did other things. That's a story that we'll have to tell at some point. But he stood off to the side for this battle. Poor Shane. Shane's fighter succumbed to the fear effect and got out of there, which made this fight a lot more harrowing than it could have been, because he can deal the damage. But he found another place to deal the damage as a marauding two-headed lizard was pounding around out on the moors and was threatening the encampment, the growing settlement outside of the tower that may one day become a town. We will see. It's definitely an entourage that the group has gathered over time. There are some hirelings, there's some henchmen, there's some other individuals that are just, shall we say, tower curious, and druid curious. They're friends of the group, one part of the group or another. That's a great miniature too. You got that from Dwarven Forge some time back, so Was this the actually, Vince? You're in the chat. Let me ask you: was this the beginning of your Dwarven Forge collection? Was this the first Dwarven Forge miniature? The first thing they picked up from him? There's a shot that Shane took. Those other ones of this were shots from Vince. Thank you very much for taking the pictures and letting me snag them. But yeah, boy, he busted out that two-handed sword, because this thing was a 20-foot-long beast, and it was a slugfest. He took quite a few points. He's got a lot of hit points. He's definitely the tank of the group. But he managed to survive that fight. So there we go. Those are the pictures we took and collected, and I've got some more captions to put on those over the course of the day, or today and tomorrow. And I'll have to edit a few of them. There's some spelling mistakes in there. Hey, I just got them up this morning. What are you going to do? So what we are going to do is we're going to edit them, right? I can answer my own question there. So yeah, thank you, Yolanda, 330 Center Street. I'm wearing one of her t-shirts, and that is the logo that is on the t-shirts that you can get from there. Check out the website. I'll have it in the show notes for sure, because we need to be sure that we spread the word about the wonderfulness of the house that Gary lived in the early 70s, when D&D was first put into publication. So, hey, thank you very much, everybody. I guess it's time for me to go. I should get out of here, finish this up. It was an impromptu show to put this together, because I didn't know that you never know if the game's going to go off positively, and sometimes we have to cancel because of other engagements or life and schedules, and sometimes we'll take one or two pictures, and I can give a verbal update of what's going on, but I didn't have the extensive pictures we took for this time around were just so wonderful. I wanted to share them as a part of a campaign update, and to thank Yolanda for allowing us to play at 330 Center Street. 330 Center Street, there's a look at the website real quick. Anyway, I was getting out of here. That's what I'm going to do. Thanks, Vince, for being in the chat. Very much appreciate it. This has been a 330 Center Street Grymvald Campaign update from the OK Grognard Show. Don't forget, the show streams live on Twitch each Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central, and it's archived on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, all of those fun things. Make some comments. Appreciate constructive criticism. And don't forget, you can also support the channel, even at the free level, on Patreon, and join such illustrious supporters as Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Carlos Lysing of Castle Entertainment, Heath Farnden of the Antipa D&D 20, Dave O'Brien, unauthorized user, recent joiner, Death Angel Shadow, thank you for your support, Heidi and Eric Gygax Garland of Gaxland, Vince Ragusa, of course, who was in the chat today. He's of the Maroon Room, an excellent prog rock band. Look them up and check them out. Daniel Caldwell, who's part of the group, but didn't make it tonight, or last night, because of some other scheduling conflicts. He'll join us again. He's of Griffin and Gargoyle. Christian Garcia, Stephanie Lesniewski-Gruchow, Cera Toppilopkus, Colin Szablewski, and as always, DM Extraordinaire Shane Bradley. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you, and bye-bye.